Good afternoon. Guess what? Sunday afternoon, Louisville, Kentucky. Land, sea, or air, we everywhere, but this is where we chose to be. We are at the gateway to freedom. Here it is. You heard it from me, Louisville, Kentucky. Everything circles around the bypass, underpass, river, and everything. It starts and ends right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Wow, am I blessed today? I am in a building full of sister girls. All sister girls, elected sister girls, geniuses sister girls, smiling, wiggling, bouncing sister girls. Wow, I just can't stand it. But most of all, through stumbling and fumbling, the Lord bless you in a way sometimes you just can't imagine. So the very first guest on our show, you will never guess who it is, but I'll tell you because I don't want to strain you, okay? Miss Barbara?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Well, hello, Cedric.
Come on with us.
Hey,
Bless us
happy
here.
Sunday, and I am so thrilled to
indeed.
be here.
Woo-wee. I just can't hardly stand it. We have so many things going on. Most of them are not positive, but we know you're all positive. And we know you can preach, teach, sing,
Well, now, wait a minute,
Cedric.
Cedric. We didn't talk about me coming on here and singing.
No,
I'm
we're not
afraid
gonna-
they'll all turn us off if I start singing.
That's on the back end.
Okay,
That's
all right.
That's desperation, because before I do that, I'll punish him myself.
Well, I know this, through him, all things are possible. So if I'm supposed to sing today, by golly, we're going to be singing.
All right, look. Things is in such a disarray that Team 2020 is what we're looking toward, and that's the direction we're moving. We're going to draw a line. This month here is preparation month, getting ready for January 1. So we're going to shove all the negatives out of the way, and we laying the groundwork now to win in 2020, and that's all positive. No negatives, no back behind stuff. Launch that. I have been agitating you for about 18 months.
Well, I wouldn't call that agitating. I'd say you talked about how I'll preach and teach. I'll say this about you. While I was teaching and preaching, you were reaching. And you were reaching right out to me wherever you could find me, whether it was on street corners and alleys and highways and byways, whatever was happening, Cedric was either texting or calling. And hey, Cedric, every time you called and you text, did I get back to you?
Yes, you did.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I read my paper every morning at 6 o'clock. I opened my paper the other day and the headline said, "No second term bid for a council member." And I just started laughing. I laughed because they had your picture sitting up there. And I said, also, I didn't miss your Louisville Cardinal signal on your hand.
Oh, in that picture?
Did you
like that?
Did you see that?
Well, you see, that is a signal that I use that I never thought about, Cedric, until I saw that picture. And in case anybody out there listening is wondering, who in the heck is the Barbara that Cedric is talking to? I think I need to let him in on it.
You can let him in on the secret.
I think I'll let him in on it. All right, y'all. Happy Sunday and good afternoon. This is Louisville Metro Councilwoman Barbara Sexton Smith, representing Louisville Metro District 4, and I am honored to be here talking with Cedric because he's pointed out this picture of me in the Courier Journal. And you see, Cedric, I used to bring props every time I was going to talk on the radio. I didn't bring any props today, but you did. I'm holding up my hand and I'm pointing. Now that sign could either be the Cardinals or that sign could be a point I was making, but I'll tell you what was on my heart that day because I remember that day. I always point up to him, my maker, my creator. That's right, because all things come to those who wait. And I knew in that moment, at that particular press conference, I needed to look up, reach out, and wait for the message to come.
Well, I tell you what, it is with great excitement and pleasure that I was glad to read it because, like you say, the only place you go is up. And I have a pretty good idea of where up is. There's only a few positions up from the Metro Council.
What do you have in mind, Chandra?
I am not going to mess with it. Are you going to ask me?
Yeah, I'd like to know what you have in mind.
Mayor of the city of Louisville.
Oh, my word. Now, Shedrick, you and I
you
both
asked
know.
me. No,
I know.
I wasn't going to do that. But you asked me, okay? I was going to move on along and not throw that out there. But you asked me, so there it is. There it is. So now let's see now. What day
Now,
is...
just to clear the air out there, since we are broadcasting and streaming across the planet, Shedrick is making a prediction I have not made, and I'm not going to be making any announcements today. So let's just clear that up. But let's see the direction we're going in.
Well, this is what we figure. We need all of the energy and help and brain power that we can find. And there are some other things that I will also do, and I'm going to write them down because, we're going to be here every week, same time, same station, all the way to Washington, D.C. Let me tell you some of the formula. We're going to be rooting for leadership rather than dictatorship.
All right.
Okay? When you do that, it eliminates some of the choices and numbers that we have. Everybody can't lead. I'm talking about positive leadership. We only have a few choices. So when you go down this road, then the number gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay? Also, you made a statement in here, and this is one of my favorite ones, and this is why I became a big, big fan of yours. Somebody had done mitigated gall to approach the fact when you filed to run for Metro Council that you were not black. And I looked at you and I said, well, evidently I need some glasses. I don't know why that'd be a shock. I thought everybody already knew that she wasn't black. But anyway, it came up as a topic of discussion. Your response to that is second to none that I have read or heard. Would you please tell us what your response to the fact of you are not black?
I sure will, and to help everybody who's listening to even put it in a little bit more context, the day that I filed my papers at the Board of Elections in 2016 in late January, just a few days before the filing deadline, a reporter called me within minutes of me putting the timestamp on those filing papers. And the reporter said to me, so have you filed to run for Metro Council? I said, well, I sure have. I just walked out. And they said, well, then I've got a question I want to ask you. I said, all right, what is that? And they said, what is it that you think you can bring to District 4? I mean, how are you, a white woman, going to be able to represent a predominantly black district? And I said, well, if you would like to make this race about race from the very beginning, I am all in. I would love to talk about it. And I paused. He said, so what is it you think you can do? I said, well, what I do know is this. I may not know much about race, but I know a lot about human race, and I know a little bit about blackness. And I know blackness is three things. Black in color, which I am not. Black in culture, which I was not reared, and black in consciousness, which I am. I am black in consciousness because it is my responsibility to recognize the reality and receive the responsibility to reshape our nation one person at a time. And as a white woman, I have to make sure that I know our history, understand our history. I don't think I can be held responsible for the history. I'm talking about the 400 years of oppression in the United States of America. That's right. I'm talking about in 1619 when Angela and 19 other slaves were bounded to the belly of a boat and brought to Jamestown and represented the first known slaves from Africa brought to America. We all know Christopher Columbus was here creating all kind of havoc in 1492. That's right. He enslaved the Native Americans. So what I know about blackness is black in consciousness. What I know about color is my people, my mother's people, were the principal people. And that is the Cherokee Nation up out of North Carolina.
Wow. I really hope that someone taped and recorded that, because I think we might need to play it back a few more times.
I'll be more than glad to come
I
in here and
think
talk
we need
anytime
to-
you want to.
We need to play that back. One of the reasons is the school system doesn't teach all this information. So if we're going to get it where it needs to be, we're going to need to have a way of producing it and getting it outside of the school system. I'm not in a point where I want to battle with who does and who doesn't.
Well, I think we need to teach this outside the school system, and we also need to teach this inside the school system. So that takes local leaders in cities, it takes the governors across the states of the United States of America, and then it takes the president and the Congress to revamp the way we teach our public education in America. All of the history books need to be rewritten, and they need to tell the truth, and they need to tell the whole story.
I think we have so many villains running loose. We used to hear, and people used to laugh about honor among thieves.
Right?
So a lot of times folks can't tell on somebody else because they've shared in to under the table action and what have you. So we'll leave that for another show.
Okay.
But right now is you see us as a city, from economic development to the plan to the future. See, what I found is there's very few people knew that there was such a thing as a 2020 plan. I'm not a native Louisvillian, but I knew that in 2000 we were starting working on the 2020 plan. So I don't understand how the biggest part of the population of the people that's supposed to be making decisions for us was not familiar with the 2020 plan. And I know since industry left this city, the biggest driving economic tool, with the exception of UPS, is the business district downtown, which is located right in your district.
Right. So District 4 that I represent, she's spreading out far and wide, as I like to say. And here in Louisville, Kentucky, for those who are listening from around the United States and around the globe, our Metro Council is comprised of 26 elected officials and one mayor. And the mayor oversees approximately 782,000 folks in Jefferson County. And then each of our council districts, we represent about 30,000 individuals. And Shedrick, as you mentioned, what is unique about the district I represent is the entire central business district, the downtown area where the business and financial district is here in Louisville, Kentucky. All of that is geographically located within my district. So with 30,000 folks living in the district, every morning about 70,000 folks transport into the central business district to do their work or to conduct their business. And so what that means is this little district where I'm representing, it is the economic driver, not just for Louisville, Kentucky, but for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Now, with all that being said, just affectionately, I'll say we're being led by a sister girl. Okay, that's sister girl leadership. That's what I call it. Okay?
Right.
So, why would we now be, at this point in this time in our life, having problems with creating a balance with diversity when we have that kind of leadership available to us and those decisions being made by a lady? I mean, this is getting ready to go to 2020, and we